Hey, welcome back everybody to Living It Up with Louis B, the channel where we celebrate everything we like to do by doing it, and that is the definition of living it up. Today I'm going to show you how to take apart a Gameboy Advance SP and how to install a replacement shell. So if you like what you see and this tutorial helped you out, I'd really appreciate it if you guys hit that subscribe button for the one time and also hit that thumbs up button for the one time as well. I upload 2 to 3 videos weekly and I got a lot of great content for y'all coming up soon. So let me know in the comments below what'd you do to your Game Boy Advance or how did it come out. I'd really love to see it and talk about it. Now without further ado, let's get to the tutorial. Good lord, look at this blast from the past. If it isn't the good old Game Boy Advance SP, I haven't seen one of these in a while. This console came out in the early 2000s, and it had a revolutionary design that allowed it to be portable, as well as having a blacklight, which was a very neat feature. Now this console has seen some better days, because when I looked at it, it has some bite marks, some scratches, maybe even a burn mark, but that's up for debate. Anyway, the owner that had it before, he mentioned that he was getting rid of it because it wouldn't read any games. And I said, haha, well bet, let's see if I could fix it up. So I figured why not, 20 bucks, not a big deal. I turned it on and it turns on just fine. But let's see what it does when I put a game cartridge in it. So as I'm turning it on, it's looking like it's doing everything that it needs to. It loads into the screen and it even starts loading into the game. I'm like, I think I got a steal here, boys. As it turns out, it does have a reading issue, which tells me that the contacts are probably dirty. So we're gonna be replacing the case with none other very freaking awesome Pikachu case. I got this on eBay for about 20 bucks and it comes complete with everything that you need. It has red keys attached to it and a small little decal on the inside at the bottom left. It's honestly a perfect kit and I couldn't choose a better one to revive this blast from the past. Here are the tools. You're gonna need a Phillips head screwdriver. This is gonna help you get in the motherboard and in the case, as well as the flathead screwdriver. You're also going to need the tri-ring screwdriver. This is going to help you get in the case as well. And in my hand I have a variation of it that I completely recommend you getting. You're going to need some tweezers for the small parts. And you're also going to want some dish of a sort to collect your screws. Now let's not forget the Q-tips for cleaning along with the rubbing alcohol. Pliers are necessary for the Q-tips because we gotta squish them down at one point. Let's get started. To start taking apart the Game Boy Advance SP, you have 5 screws on the screen. Now, when you turn this bad boy over, you also got 6 screws on the back that all need to come out. There's also a hidden screw in the console, and the only way to access it is by removing the battery. It really does not matter which screw you start with, as long as you remember to get all 6 screws from the back of the case. Upon removing the screws, you'll be able to separate the back half of the shell, which will give you access to the motherboard. To be able to remove the motherboard from the shell, you need to remove 3 more screws. Now that you have the motherboard free, you should be able to separate it from the shell. But be careful because it is still tethered to the LCD ribbon cable. To free the ribbon cable, just push the black tabs on other side of the ribbon cable connector away from it. Of course, we cannot forget about the speaker. It will easily pop out of its mold along with its filter. This next screw will allow you to remove the ribbon cable cover, giving you full access to the ribbon cable. To access the screws that are holding the screen to the bezel, you will need to remove the 5 rubber covers that are hiding the screws. It's very easy to pop them off. You can even use your flathead for this. And once you pop them all off, you will have access to the screws. Good lord, these screws are taking forever to take out. Golly. Could have gone to the grocery store and back by now. Hot damn, boy. I did forget one screw during the time of the recording. No problem though, just pop off the cover and remove the screw. From here you'll gain access to the LCD screen. Gently pull the ribbon cable from the slit and you should be able to pull the screen back from the bezel. Next, let's take a look at the motherboard. It is old and it has been used, so let's give it a quick clean. Rubbing alcohol is an appropriate solvent for this procedure. Now, each Game Boy Advance that has been used for a while is going to be grimy in its own places, so use your judgment. Typically, any bumpers, any buttons, any connectors should get a good cleaning. You know you're doing a great job, as while you're cleaning you see your Q-tip turn gray or black. Oddly, it's very satisfying. To give these connectors a good clean, you're going to have to squish your Q-tip as flat as you can. I use the flat parts of my pliers and then I dip it into rubbing alcohol. From here, it should slide in pretty easily inside the connector. You don't want to shove an unflattened Q-tip inside the connector, otherwise you'll be forcing it to adapt to a shape that it's not normally used to and probably damage it. Don't forget about the speaker contacts either, they need some TLC too. Next, we are going to focus on removing the LCD screen cover from the LCD screen. It is very easy to do, but make sure you're applying even pressure because you do not want to crack or damage your LCD screen. My new kit came with a new LCD screen cover. All you gotta do is peel the backing off of it and then press it right on top of the LCD screen. Since we're already working with the LCD screen, let's go ahead and get it installed into the new bezel. It is as easy as dropping the screen into the mold and closing the bezel, but do not get the ribbon cable caught in between the bezels. Next, all you gotta do is reverse the process, reinstall the screws. As you notice, I am installing the screws in a cross fashion. I do this to apply even pressure on the bezel. In the second half of the shell, we're going to slide the ribbon cable through the appropriate slit, which will then allow us to install the ribbon cable cover. Once completed, we can now install the ribbon cable to the ribbon connector on the motherboard. It's very easy. Just slide into the connector and push the 2 black tabs down. To install the speaker, just put the filter in the mold and then put the speaker in the mold. From here, you can place the motherboard into its mold and then fasten it with the applicable screws. Paying attention to the back shell cover, we are going to install the nut that is going to hold the battery cover in place. Once you have the nut in place, you can go ahead and install the back cover to the rest of the console, and then install the screw that hides underneath the battery. We're going to install the battery and give the console a quick operational test before we move forward. As you can see, it's turning on, it's working fine. Next, we're going to install the rest of the screws on the back shell cover. Once again, I'm going to install the screws in a cross fashion. This will allow me to put even pressure on the case. We are going to transition back to the old case and remove the hinges. You're gonna need them for the new case. Make sure you remove them when the case is in a closed position. And to remove the hinges, all you need to do is pop them out with a screwdriver. Also, don't forget to put the new covers on them. They slide right on. Make sure your case is in a closed position. Align the hinges to the grooves and push them in. It is time to install the battery and the battery cover. We're getting very close, guys. After that, it's time to put the rubber covers in the screw holes of the screen bezel. They don't need to be forced down too hard. They seem to be a little bigger than the holes, so they stay in place with pressure. All I'm doing right here is just making sure that they are evenly pressed in, so they're never gonna fall out. Just give them a couple of taps, feel them out. You'll be able to know if they're gonna fall out or not. Ooh, the Nintendo sign. We're gonna go ahead and peel the backing, align it up in its hole, and press it in. I'm going to take a Q-tip and wipe down the surface area where the serial number sticker goes. That way I can remove any dust or particles that might have stayed on the surface. Peel the backing of the sticker and then align it to the frame of the cover. From here, you're going to press down evenly until the sticker is stuck to the case. All right. One more final test and we can call it good to go. If you remember, the Game Boy did turn on, but it did not want to read games, which immediately indicated to me that the contacts were probably dirty, and we did clean them thoroughly. As you can see here, the game loaded in just fine, and I am playing Tetris without any issues. Finally, our work here is done. And that's it, guys. That's all it takes to take apart your Game Boy Advance SP and replace the shell. Let me know in the comments below, what'd you do to your Game Boy Advance SP or how'd you mod it? I'd love to hear from you guys. As always, thank you so much for coming through and checking out the content. And hey, if you're an Apex Legends player like me, check out this video. It might help you get that dub and up your game a little bit. As always, thanks for coming through, and I'll see you guys later.